Trump's trade war tariffs are terrific. And we just established earlier that was alliteration. I couldn't remember if it was automatopoeia or alliteration, but it's alliteration. Automatopoeia is my favorite. I'm having a hard time talking around that ice. Onomatopoeia is my favorite literary device, just because it's fun to say. Onomatopoeia. Trump's trade war tariffs are terrific. Now, the press is all up in arms about this right now. The tariffs, all the tariffs. Trump's so inconsistent. He's got no plan. He's rattling around. No one knows what he's trying to do. There's no coherent strategy. The wheels have come off. Sorry. Well, that's just the mainstream media freaking out and doing what they always do. If Trump does something, it's all bad. Now, the other side of this, some guys are saying Trump's playing 4D chess and he's this Machiavellian actor. And no, this is a really simple thing on two levels. First level, what's Trump doing? He's playing the Trump card. We have the upper hand in this thing. China needs us more than we need them. They need to cough up a little bit of cash. You know, they want access to our markets. They've got to play fair, and they don't play fair. The second part of this is real simple. I think I just said it. Oh, I don't know. This is good for us. This is good for America. The tariffs are good for the country. They're good for our economy long term. They're bad for China, and they hurt China long term, because the more we don't buy our stuff from China, we start developing other supply chains, other places, Taiwan, the Philippines, Vietnam, South Korea. Those orders never come back to China. You know, once you make those shifts, that has an inertia and it lasts for decades. So every job, and I hate to be mean to the Chinese people because they're a unique people in the history of the world, but their government is not doing them any favors right now. And we need to not let these jobs come back to China. China needs to be weakened. China is an irresponsible actor on the world stage, and I am not one of these globalist people. You know, I don't want to say I don't care what happens overseas, but it's not a primary concern for me. I don't think America should be the world's policeman, but China, you know, China's a bad actor. They oppress their own people. They would love to oppress other people. I don't have any evidence to back this up. This is just me talking. I believe China made sure that Pakistan got the nuclear bomb to act as a counterweight to India, because I think China's worried about India as a rival. They both kind of have these huge populations, and India, you know, you hear about the BRIC countries, the emerging economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China. I think it was South Africa. No, Brazil, India, China. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. You know, all these things have kind of stalled out, but India and China are kind of rivals. They're real close to each other. India got the bomb. Next thing you know, Pakistan's got the bomb. How does Pakistan get a nuclear bomb? Well, they say they got it from North Korea. North Korea doesn't do anything if China doesn't say so. North Korea is China's pit bull. Which, that's the other thing. You weaken China, you weaken North Korea. Actually, they start barking a lot for a little while China's trying to gain an advantage on the world stage. But North Korea and China are linked inseparably. You weaken China, you do wonders on the world stage. We support our ally down there in Australia. We got close ties with Japan. You know, you weaken China, the whole world's a better place for the weak China. China is an irresponsible actor. So these tariffs, they're not going to bring jobs home. These jobs are probably never coming back to us. But we can shift these supply chains to other places. That's not going to strengthen a bad actor on the world stage. China's not our rival. They can never be our rival. They're not strong enough. No one can be our rival but us, and we're rival enough. But we can weaken them, and we can get better deals other places from these. We need better deals, better places. It would be wonderful if we could bring jobs back home, and maybe we can bring some of them back home. I am not optimistic about that. I think the American worker is almost non-existent, and I don't know how many of these jobs can come back. It would be great if we would wean ourselves off of this stuff, you know, all this plastic crap, you know, cheap stuff. And I'm guilty. I just went today, and I bought a $5 tool at Harbor Freight. You know, I didn't even try it. I just went straight to Harbor Freight. So I'm as guilty as anybody. But it would be really nice if we didn't have these options available to us. The farmers, I know people are screaming about the farmers. The farmers are going to be fine. China's got to buy food. If you buy food on the world stage, you have to come to America at some point. Even if you buy someone else's food, it at some point had some inputs from America. We are the breadbasket of the world. Our farmers are going to be fine. You know, the farming always has ups and downs. Unfortunately, there's no way around it, and they're just in one of their downs. And I'm not trying to minimize that or be dismissive of it or cavalier. But it's going to sound cavalier when I say this. We can't base our long-term economic health on the short-term interest of any one segment of the economy. As terrible as that sounds, farmers are a national security issue. We have to be able to. Any country that can't produce its own food is at risk at the world in the world, because you know you have to have food, and if you got to buy it, people can take anything from you. You know, demand anything of you. Farmers are important, but that one segment can't dictate, you know, the whole direction of our economy for the next 15 years. Because this trade war, if we win this trade war, if these tariffs work, and China has to capitulate, this affects our economy for the next 15 years. It's a very, very important moment. It's a very good thing. That's why the mainstream media hates it so much. You know, the liberals want America to have a rival. They always did. You know, that's what the Soviet Union was to them. They loved the Soviet Union because it was a rival to America. And there has been no rival. We're the world's only superpower, even though we're not anymore. Not a superpower anymore. So they want to see this rival rise up on the world stage and, you know, face the evil colonialist oppressors. This is their fondest little dream that they've had since '89 when Perestroika happened and all that, you know, and they didn't have any enemy of America to pull for. It's not going to happen, but we don't have to give these, you know, China all our money and poke a hole in the bottom of our pocket and let all our change dribble out the bottom. This is a good thing. Trump's winning this trade war. Like I said, China needs us. We don't need China. And if we just hold on 6 more months, what do I know? I'm nobody. Look, I'm trying to fix an ancient old truck because I can't afford to have someone do it for me. 6 more months. I don't think China can last. They've got internal unrest. They've got some major problems with their food supply.
Hey, go inside.
And
It's potty.
they can't beat us. They need us. We don't need them. We can, like I said, we can replace them anywhere in the world. We can replace them in their own region. And you know what? We could live without them. You know what? If Walmart went away, if all the cheap plastic junk went away, what would happen? We'd have less cheap plastic junk. And maybe we'd have to buy something or make do or do without. But the world wouldn't end. And the world will be a better place for it. This is the second time we did this, but I went way too long on the last one. China is a topic that always gets me spun up. But there you go. The tariffs are important. They are a winnable fight, and it is good for our future if we win it. And this is one more example why, men, we have to be involved. We have to vote. Hillary Clinton would not be having this fight with China. Hillary Clinton would tell China how much they had to donate to the Clinton initiative to get whatever they wanted. And if they wrote a big enough check, Hillary Clinton would let them write our economic policy. And that's all the Clintons cared about. They did this when Bill was in. They gave massive amounts of our national defense away to China for campaign contributions and contributions to the global initiative. There's stories about, you know, monks, Tibet or Buddhist, not Tibetan monks, but Buddhist monks in L.A. in a monastery with a vow of poverty with no income, giving thousands of all the monks in the whole monastery each, you know, would donate thousands of dollars for the Clinton campaign. It was just barely disguised bribes. And as soon as they would make that, I remember specifically some missile technology that the monks made a donation, and like the next day missile technology got released by the State Department to go to China. It was bald-faced and ridiculous. And if we didn't vote, if you don't vote or didn't vote, that could have happened again. And if you don't, it will happen again. It does matter. It does make a difference, even if you're only choosing your enemy. I don't want to get off on this. I just want to talk about these tariffs real quick because they're in the news and they interest me. And it is another sign that we're not dead yet. There's still life. There's still hope. It may not be, well, maybe not. I don't want to get into all that. Men, thank you. We appreciate you.